All right. What is going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of the 5-1 Formation podcast. It is episode 27. Everybody's in the hot seat, and we're going to get right into it, guys. Another beautiful weekend of Bundesliga with Bayern Munich, doing Bayern Munich things, winning 4-2 against Bayern Leverkusen. Guys, Leverkusen, of course, Kai Havertz, 2 games now out. Let's kind of discuss about that first, and then we'll kind of get into the score a little. Alex, what do you got to say about that, bro?
I think it's pretty clear that Havertz is on the move.
Yeah.
Like you said, 2 games in a row. Definitely hurt Leverkusen that he wasn't there. But Bayern's dominance, I think that was going to happen regardless if he was there or not. I think we're all in agreement there.
For sure.
So I was watching the highlights before, and Goretzka, it doesn't make sense what he's doing right now. Like, if you just go watch him specifically, he has to be the greatest player in the moment in Bundesliga. Because guys, I'm telling you, he's an animal on the pitch. He's assisting, he's scoring, it doesn't make sense, man. You guys have to watch this guy a little more closely, and he's incredible. But in terms of Leverkusen, at least they're going to make some money off of Havertz. I think they're valuing him at around 100 million, which is a lot of fucking money. But I mean, when you have
much for that.
He's a wonder kid, right? So if I were them, I would have done that too.
Yep.
Tommy?
100%.
No, yeah. No Kai Havertz, no party. You know what I mean? See?
Simple.
Party rock glasses. That's what I waited for. That's why I waited to keep these on.
He waited for oh my god.
Now they're off. Party rock glasses off. So you're going to get a shellacking either way, but Kai Havertz would have at least bagged in a goal or two. Who knows? But yeah, Bayern's just been on a hot streak. Goretzka, like Alex said, has been a star the past couple of weeks, which is good, which he needed because he never got playing time before. That's why you're like, Goretzka, yeah, okay, he's a bench player. Start him, look what happens. And yeah, and then
he hit the weights, and he's starting more.
Oh man,
see size.
His size over other players, it's scary.
Yeah.
So for those of you who haven't seen pictures of Goretzka, like post and pre-COVID, go check him out. He is absolutely jacked. Like, even his face looks different. It's kind of scary, but I guess improving your physical strength and stamina and whatnot does actually help your game. So good on him. What's his name? Muller and Lewandowski both picking up yellow, so they're gonna miss next game. Big players, obviously, with Lewandowski being the top goal scorer of the Bundesliga, and Thomas Muller with 20 assists this season just in the Bundesliga, guys. So 2 key players. Guys, you think it's going to make a big difference for next game? Honestly, for me, I don't think so. Nope. Because it's just such a powerhouse team, like we've mentioned in previous episodes. But I don't see it making a big difference. Diesel, you have anything to add to that, man? I don't know.
I don't think it's going to be a huge difference. I mean, yeah, of course, those 2, they're leading the way. It's a fair statement what Alex said about Goretzka. His transformation was incredible the last 2 months. Good for him because he's been suffering injuries since the beginning. I know because I had him in fucking fantasy. So I missed out on some midfield points. But, obviously it's a big loss. They're leading the way. Lewandowski with his 44th in all competitions. Muller, 20 assists of the year. But then again, they have enough rotational strength to manage to fucking win without them anyway. And the whole team is just so tactically in sync right now. And I don't see any team standing in their way, like I've been saying the last few episodes. And shout out to Muller as well for his rejuvenation this year, because last year he had a really poor year, at least stats-wise. And people were probably starting to question his downfall from there. Since he's getting a bit older, he's in his early 30s, if I'm not mistaken, 31, I believe. So good for him. And I'm happy to see him have a bounce back year. But to answer your question, yeah, I don't think they have an issue on.
It was probably a scare to lose his position as well, which explains his his performance this season. You know what I mean? Like he was probably worried about losing his position in the starting lineup with all of the young talent that was coming. Don't forget Coutinho. They got Coutinho as well, so that was another shot. They got Perisic. So the fact that he won his place after all of those guys as well, Gnabry, Coman, don't forget all of these guys are battling for the same spot.
Yeah.
So the fact that he not that he only won his position, but performing that way as well, unbelievable season for Thomas Muller.
And don't forget,
go for it, Tom.
Go ahead, Tommy.
And don't forget, talking about next game, that Bayern's not going to have their two top guns up front. Mönchengladbach don't have to play a next game either, which is basically their whole team as of the past couple of weeks. So it doesn't make it easier for Mönchengladbach not having Lewandowski or Muller, but they don't also have their star player, which sucks.
Tonio?
Yeah, all I have to say is that I think you guys are underestimating how important Muller and Lewandowski are together at the same time when they're on the pitch. So I do think they're going to struggle against the fourth place Mönchengladbach. Will they get the win? Most probably, but it definitely won't be an easy win. Like I think you guys are taking these two guys out a bit likely. Yes, Playa does have a huge factor on Mönchengladbach as well, but I mean they still have Thuram, and they could be a threat. They could be a serious threat. Well, all I want to know is who's going to replace Lewandowski up there.
Xerxes.
The
young Xerxes probably. Yeah.
So exactly,
the young
Xerxes, and what, they're going to slot Goretzka behind him, most probably?
They might, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you really think Xerxes has what it takes to get a goal or two against Mönchengladbach?
I think so. I think every time they've played him, he's scored a goal, if I'm not mistaken. Every time he's come on for if either Lewandowski was injured at some point and then he had to replace him, or if it wasn't an important game and they didn't want to play Lewandowski, they played Xerxes, and he just killed it every single time, from what I remember. So
and don't forget, take away Lewandowski and Muller, but Bayern is just this scary and put so much money into the team that look at all the games. It's not only them scoring every game. There's Coman, there's Gnabry, there's Goretzka. They have everyone that could score. And like you said, what's Lewandowski and Muller without Bayern? You could say same thing with Playa and Thuram. Is Thuram going to be the same without Playa on the pitch?
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Good point. Yeah.
Them two together have been carrying Mönchengladbach the whole season. Thuram's amazing, but I find not having Playa there, it's going to be harder for him. But he's still a stud. There's still going to be some chances, but I think Bayern's going to dominate, like usual.
And they're Munich.
There you go.
It's worth mentioning, just before we move on from that topic, that Mönchengladbach just came back from a shock defeat to Freiburg. They lost Playa, so if I were them, use this as a motivation. You're going against Bayern. They just lost their two of their best players in Muller and Lewandowski for that game, and maybe, like Antonio said, they can really pull off a victory there.
For sure. I mean, in worst case scenario for Bayern Munich, they are 6 points ahead of Borussia Dortmund. So if they can take a loss, obviously it won't affect them tremendously, but then the race will get tighter. If they manage to draw a point, I think that's pretty good scenario for them. If they get the 3 points, then
that's it.
Bayern is flying. So with that being said,
especially that there's only 4 games left,
That's it.
Exactly.
Yep.
So with that being said, I want to go to Borussia Dortmund.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
And they played on Saturday and they won 1-0 against Hertha Berlin. Is that am I right?
That's correct. Yep.
Yes, sir.
So the one man scoring the goal, Emre Can, had a lot to say about Jadon Sancho with what kind of happened over the weekend. So correct me if I'm wrong. Jadon Sancho ended up breaking some sort of quarantine or COVID-19 related rules or regulations. He ended up getting a haircut, which apparently you're not supposed to do. I think he was fined. I'm not too sure, but I know that Emre Can had a lot to say about that. I'm going to give it over to Alex. Alex, if you can go in depth on what he said exactly, because I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, so I'm reading off the score here, and it says that Emre Can says Sancho needs to grow up after haircut fines. Just to confirm what you said, he did get a fine. So basically, here is quote-unquote, Jadon needs a little guidance. He's a great boy also off the pitch. It's true that I get along very well with him. He just has to be a little smarter about these things. Everyone needs a hairdresser. He needs to grow up. He can't afford to make mistakes like that in the future. That's pretty much it.
He's not wrong. You have to be a professional at the end of the day. You know, there, especially a guy like Jadon Sancho. There's all kinds of media always on top of him, and I think he got caught because he posted something on social media, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure they're allowed getting haircuts, but the hairdresser needs to be tested beforehand, and he needs to have gloves and a mask.
All kinds of rules, exactly. All kinds of criteria stuff.
Which he didn't have at all, this hairdresser. So
I just hope he's not building a big ego, because that's what I thought. Like, that's what I got a bit of from this. I hope he doesn't think that he's up here and he's gonna start acting up. But who knows? Maybe it's just one little mistake. He wanted to look good, but yeah. Let's hope he doesn't think he's above the team.
So if I could make like a comment about this, I know this may sound crazy, but this is just my personal opinion. I'm seeing with these actions, I know he's very young and it's like early on in his career, but I'm seeing a lot of he can be a perfect fit, if you want to say, for Manchester United, because there is one player in Manchester United who has a similar characteristics like this, and it's Paul Pogba. Like I said, it's my personal opinion, but it's like, what are you doing, bro?
We don't need another one like that. Okay.
I know.
Pogba's haircuts have already taken over the leagues. You know what I mean? So it's like, we don't need another person like that right now.
Honestly, you need to look fresh for the cameras, bro. That's all I need to say.
Yeah, but I mean, when there's nobody in the stands anyways, like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, what was the big rush for him specifically? You know?
You got to get that.
But honestly, if he really wanted the cut, he should have taken the necessary precautions. In all seriousness,
he has the money. He has the money to do it. So why not do it? You know what I mean? And I agree with Emre Can coming out publicly and saying what he had to say. He was taking leadership and kind of telling the young guy, like, look, you can't do this. There's all kinds of eyes on you. There's little kids looking up to you, and if they're seeing you disobey rules, you know what I mean? Like, they're gonna think that it's okay to do that too, or they're gonna think it's cool to do that too because Sancho did it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's kind of what he saw in that decision of Sancho's, and that's why he needed to say, look, you need to grow up because you need to realize how big you are in this league and in this sport. And maybe Sancho doesn't even realize. I don't even know if he realizes how big he is right now. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's how I saw it.
Still hitting him slowly.
Right.
Yep.
But besides that, I mean, the game itself, Dortmund, man, they looked. They had a tough time, man. They had a tough time. I'm telling you, man. I really think Haaland not being there in the squad is providing a couple of problems up front, not finishing.
But Brand
they
did
still
his
got
job.
the 1-0. Yeah, they still.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm happy he stepped up and got on the score sheet. That's the one thing that made me happy about that game, is that he got going.
Julian Brandt, he's the one who replaced Haaland in that position, and he gave a nice header assist to Emre Can's goal. And from what I saw, he looked really good up there. So he's taking over Haaland's role there, and he's doing really well, like we said he would. So no worries for Dortmund there yet.
But I feel like this has been the ongoing story for Dortmund's season this year. It's just like hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold.
But it's always like that.
Very inconsistent this year, and even though they got the 3 points, I think because of their inconsistencies, they can't top off Bayern this year. Especially the fact that before January, Bayern were really struggling with the coach and whatnot, and they were having some problems. They could have really taken advantage of it, but they
up again.
They let it slide.
They kept dropping the ball against bottom table teams. Every week was a tie against teams that are lower half, and now it's biting them in the ass. They got hot too late, and Bayern just got hot at the right point. Their team got super healthy, and things started clicking for them. And thank God for Haaland for Dortmund, because if not for Haaland, they'd be probably not even top 5. That's my guess.
Oh, okay. Before we move on, I can say that RB Leipzig drew. Upamecano picking up 2 yellows, which led to a red. Maybe that affected their game.
Yeah, but you see, there's another team. There's another team who could have taken advantage of Bayern's inconsistencies at the beginning of the season, and they just dropped the ball as well. Like it's frustrating to see. I mean, I love watching Bayern and everything, but this year, from seeing how competitive the Bundesliga is, I would have really liked a closer battle between Red Bull, Dortmund, and Bayern for top spot at the end of the season, at this point of the season with 4 games left. But, I mean, if Bayern doesn't drop the ball next week against Mönchengladbach, forget it. They won.
Yep.
I mean, you
I
could,
agree.
yeah, you can. I totally agree with you, but I think what it comes down to is experience, because Bayern Munich have had kind of like the same core team for X amount of years, whereas RB Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund kind of like shuffle through players, and they're always relying on young talent and whatnot. So maybe that could be the reason.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Hopefully for Leipzig, for that they actually keep Patrick Schick permanently and not bring him back to Roma. I mean, I know he's on loan. I don't know if it's with an option or an obligation to buy. I don't know what the terms are, but
Yeah.
it's his 3rd game in a row that he's scoring, so he's looking fucking solid there, man. And yeah, for sure, the Upamecano red for sure bit them in the ass in the end, because they were holding out, and they tied it up in the 90th. So it was unfortunate. They could have minutes away from getting the 3 points.
And he got that red before the half. Imagine. So they had an entire half.
So they're holding out. They're trying to salvage the game as much as possible.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking about Upamecano, do you guys think he should stay or leave? And if he does leave, what team do you think is going to jump on him this transfer window?
I already expect that he should leave after the season. I think I mentioned it in the early episodes when they were making a solid push for the league. I said especially if he wins, he should definitely change teams by the summer, and I'm still sticking with that. I think Upamecano has the potential to be one of the top center backs in the world, and he should definitely start shopping around for a top team in Europe.
What league do you see him in if he leaves
EPL.
Germany?
100% EPL.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we can close off Bundesliga with that. Do you guys have anything else to add before we move on? All right, perfect.
Lewandowski, period.
Well, he's out next game, bonehead. So
Doesn't matter. Top of the league, buddy.
all right. Okay. Antonio, La Liga, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Sevilla, all those beautiful teams are coming back. And I think Thursday is the first fixtures, right?
Yeah, Thursday's the first fixture. I'm just gonna steal one out of Guardiola's book and say, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Yeah, but honestly, man, I just want to shout out Bundesliga and Germany in general for being the leaders of Europe, and just throughout this whole pandemic, throughout this whole COVID-19 situation, they provided the stepping stones for the rest of the leagues to follow their actions. Because, I mean, they're obviously the first ones to take action and coming back and setting specific rules. And you see now La Liga, EPL, Serie A, they're following the same standards as Bundesliga. So you know what, man, good on Bundesliga for getting it all started, man. The restart. But yeah, I'm super happy that La Liga is coming back. Obviously, it's still a tight battle between Barcelona and Real Madrid. 2 points separate them for the top. Barca's leading 58. Real Madrid is right behind them with 56 points. Still a lot of games to play left in La Liga, 11. So honestly, boys, anything could happen. And the organizers of La Liga did express that they want to try their best to have a fixture per day until the end of July. So get ready for a lot of football, boys. Get ready. You're gonna have a game, at least one game every day, which is crazy. I love to see something like that. It's something different instead of the traditional weekend games and stuff.
it's like we're almost getting the Euro Cup kind of thing, because whenever there's like an international, almost like whenever there's an international tournament going on, there's like a game every day until the knockout rounds kind of thing.
Yeah,
Almost.
it's super exciting. Super exciting.
And
I don't know how the other leagues are going to do it. I'm pretty sure I heard EPL actually, they said the same thing as La Liga, and they wanted to have at least one fixture per day for a month. So
I just wanted to say something to jump off what Antonio said about the Bundesliga, and I want to kind of continue that praise, is that because they were able to start or to come back so early, they were able to experiment with different ideas of how to make the matches work. And that's how it's come now to the point where they have the fake noise for the crowd noises and stuff like that. And they have different ideas. So when these other leagues come back in, they already have the blueprint of how to make everything work.
yeah,
Yep.
So,
yeah.
how to come onto the
provided that
pitch from the
reassurance.
tunnel. Yeah, go for it, Dan. Sorry.
No, they basically just sum up. They provided that reassurance for the other leagues that, yeah, we can do this. This is going to
Exactly.
work out with the least amount of impact possible, hopefully.
hopefully, Antonio,
Um,
any fixtures that you wanna go in detail in, or that you're excited for?
Yeah, so Barcelona and Real Madrid are coming back to La Liga with quite easy opponents. Barca's facing Mallorca, who's sitting in 18th, and Real
Say
Madrid.
it properly, Antonio. Say the team properly. Say Mallorca's name properly.
Mallorca! Did they beat or tie Real Madrid? They beat them earlier.
They beat
this
them.
season,
That's
right?
when you said it.
1-0.
Mallorca.
They better not beat us, bro. That's all I have to say. I no, honestly, all jokes aside, I think Barca and Madrid are going to have a very easy time against these two opponents. Madrid facing Eibar, who sit in 16th place. And don't forget, the rest of La Liga between 3rd and 7th position is a super tight battle. Only 5 points separate Sevilla, Real Sociedad, Getafe, Atletico Madrid, and Valencia, respectively.
Love it.
And yeah, it's gonna be an exciting rest of 11 games, man. I'm so pumped to see what's gonna happen. I'm so pumped to see who comes out on top. Hopefully us, Visca Barca. And I really want to see some surprises for the other two Champions League spots. So I wouldn't mind seeing like a Sevilla and Real Sociedad slotting in there. Maybe Atletico Madrid getting like a UEFA Cup spot. Because honestly, the way Atletico have been playing this season, I don't believe at all that they deserve a Champions League spot. So it's going to be exciting to see, boys, honestly. The first matchup is on Thursday, Sevilla versus Betis, a huge derby. So it's gonna be a fun restart, man. I'm excited.
Hells yeah.
For sure.
The notable things I just want to mention before we drop off is that obviously for Barcelona, Dembele is still injured till August.
Shocker.
So he won't be participating in anything. There's big news that came out. Remember, Suarez had like a 4-month injury in February. Well, he's fully recovered now. He's ready to go against Mallorca.
Oh wow! Okay,
Awesome.
that's big. That's big news.
That's huge news,
Huge.
especially to secure the title, man. Oh, we were struggling without Suarez. I mean,
For
without
champions,
your number 9, it's tough, right? So.
Yep. Tell me about it.
Also, another notable thing: Lenglet suspended because of a red card last game, and Messi has a quadricep scare earlier late last week. So we're gonna see if he starts in the game, if he starts on the bench or not. So we'll see. And for Real Madrid, Nacho and Luka Jovic are injured. Nacho till the end of June and Jovic till the end of July. Squad players, but throughout a heavy schedule, it could be very important at the end of the season. So,
hey, is
Hazard.
Marco Asensio back?
he wasn't on the injured list, so
Oh
looks
man,
like he might be back, man. Finally,
all eyes
Finally.
on him.
About time. About time.
Bro, if you guys saw that clip of Hazard in practice, bro.
Yeah,
he
he's
looked
looking
mighty
good, huh?
fucking fine, bro. On fucking a nice fire up his ass.
Whatever he showed in practice, I hope he brings it to the game level. You know what I mean? Because I think it's time for some fans to see old Hazard again.
I think he realized it for himself.
I hope so.
I'm on with Anthony too, because Hazard has never been a practice kind of guy. He's always been the type of player to kind of showcase his talents on the field and not through practice.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's not like other players who work extra or a lot harder in practice to improve their game. He's kind of the guys to save it for the game. If you know if you catch my drift.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So that's great news. That's great news.
Yeah, for real. And great news for also add on to Suarez being back. I mean, obviously we know how incredibly important he is, especially for now the lack of striking ability up there for Barca too. Especially doesn't help when you have Guzman, who's a lemon. But it's gonna be a difference maker for them to finish off the regular season and obviously for CL. So it's a good timing for them.
Yeah, yo.
All right. So shall we get into some transfer talk?
Sure. Let's do it.
Look, who do you guys want to start with first?
Well, since we're talking about Barca just now, talk about the Ansu Fati deal that didn't go through.
For
$100
sure.
million bid.
Okay.
I'd like to say, Antonio, what's his take on it?
So yeah, basically Bartomeu, the president of Barcelona, came out earlier last week and said that they received a bid for Ansu Fati of 100 million euros, and they rejected it right away. And Bartomeu put out a statement saying that Ansu Fati is not for sale, and for no amount of money, basically. Basically, Bartomeu prices Ansu Fati as a priceless player right now in his mind. So,
I mean,
I look at it. News, man.
I look at it. How old is he, first of all?
17.
17. So if someone's splashing 100 million on a 17-year-old player, I mean, unless you're so fucking sure he's the next Messi, I feel like, especially during COVID, because that's a huge thing to mention, where a lot of clubs were losing money, to reject 100 million for a 17-year-old player when you could probably just build another one through the academy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just my take. I just feel like because of what happened with COVID, I feel like that was maybe a small mistake on their part.
Well, for me, what I have to say is that, one, he's definitely like a very special player, regardless of what he does on the pitch or not, just because of the fact that someone's willing to pay 100 mil right off the bat.
Right.
Yeah.
And Barcelona rejecting that bid and saying, no, he's our future player, like he's staying with us. So,
right.
But honestly, what I've seen so far with him on the pitch, bro, at 16 years old, getting your first goal for a professional club is big news.
Okay.
Like, how many players have done that? Rooney, I'm pretty sure David Beckham, Messi
Bale.
scored when he was 17.
Bale.
Bale too. Big stars, legends have scored when they were that young. So I don't know, man. I would definitely stick with Ansu and keep him for the future of the club, man.
Yeah.
Did it specify which team gave that bid? Because
No,
I feel it.
unfortunately not.
See, that's a huge key in all of this too. You know what I mean?
Who would throw 100 mil at him now, though? That's all I was trying to think when the news came out.
PSG.
The clubs that would throw 100 mil. So think of any big team at this point.
Manchester United.
I'm gonna check the source that said it. It was Sport that came out and said it for the Barcelona paper, but when I read it, I didn't see any names.
Go ahead.
If it actually is the case, if it is the case, it shows how much faith they have in him, right? For him to be the next starlet for Barca. So it's no joke to turn down 100 mil for an unproven 17-year-old. So
absolutely, yeah.
But this can kind of, I'm not gonna say it could work backwards, but like, doesn't it add pressure on Ansu, considering that, like, oh shit, they weren't gonna take 100 mil for me. Doesn't that add pressure on him?
Yeah, for sure it does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think players like this don't feel pressure, honestly. They just go out there, enjoy their game, and
That's it. Yeah.
kill it.
Especially if you score at 16.
Yeah.
On
think
top
that
of
Gotta
pressure
that,
have
is,
some cojones, bro.
Yeah.
Seriously.
good point. Good point.
Okay. Next on the line, who do you guys got?
We could talk about
Sure.
Timo Werner and Chelsea if you want, because that's really heating up since the last time we spoke.
Oh,
Yeah.
we most certainly can.
The Chelsea
So-
fan gets the start on this one.
So, if you may or may have not heard, Timo Werner, the star striker for RB Leipzig, was heavily rumored to go to Liverpool. Main reasons for that were so he could join Jurgen Klopp, so he can join a good team, a winning team, I should say, a team that's been very successful the past 2 years. But no guaranteed playing time because of the front three that Liverpool are already rocking. So Chelsea coming in, obviously with no official agreement yet, but I would say they're like 90% there.
Yeah.
The
That's
10%,
fair.
the 10% that they're missing is the paperwork, basically, because there are agreements between the club and the player. Now it's just kind of put it pen to paper.
Yep.
Now, for Chelsea, absolutely amazing. A bargain deal, if you ask me. They're paying what, 60 million for him, ballpark.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. For Timo Werner signing a 5-year deal, 200K a week. So he's getting playing time, which is what he wants. He's getting a start. He's getting a coach that believes in young players, and he's getting the mad paychecks.
Yes.
So what more do you want? And
it's,
No brainer.
it's a no-brainer, like Anthony just said. It's a great signing for Chelsea. It's great. It's a great business move, and for me, that shows that they're really pushing for that title race, and that enough's enough for them, because I think for the last couple of years they've been struggling a bit, especially with all that stuff that happened with Jose, I think, and then Antonio Conte and whatnot, and now they're looking to kind of get back on track under Frank Lampard, and he wants to build his team the way he visions it.
Yeah.
And just going after Werner, and especially don't forget, like you said before, with the release clause available, like it was a no-brainer for any team that had that money to get him. So that's why it was Werner's choice about where he wanted to go. Obviously, like you said, he wanted to go to Liverpool first, but because there were those kind of like what ifs
Yeah.
that were placed there, he was like, you know what, let me go to Chelsea. They're offering me a huge 10 million per season playing time. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, but what did we say last episode? What was going to be the deal breaker for him? A shitload of cash thrown his way, which they did. 10 million for a 24-year-old is an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
Someone should check how much he's making now, actually, just so we could compare the difference. And
Check it out.
also, the playing time is like so important for a player of his caliber, especially if he wants to make the German national team and be the starting striker over there for the future tournaments. It's got to play a role in an individual player's mind, right? So we said that last episode, and look what happened this week. Chelsea came up with the price tag, and they offered him, like I mentioned before, a shitload of cash. So how much is he making at right now?
Based on this website, I mean, I don't know how reliable it is. RB Leipzig 2019-2020 payroll, £53,000 per week.
That's crazy. That is crazy. What an upgrade, eh?
Oh,
Well,
yeah, for sure.
You kidding me?
100%.
And to add on that he's going to London, which is a fucking fantastic city to live in. So it's a really no-brainer for him. And hopefully for him and for Chelsea, that fucking number 9 curse goes to shit with him coming there.
So,
I don't think he's gonna get the
I know
number 9. But I think I know what
Better
you're
not.
saying. I think it's that position slot of the number 9 is what you're trying to say, because I think
yeah, the
Tommy's
last,
going to keep his number and then Timo's going to take 11.
yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
The last few strikers they've had,
Yep.
they've been struggling, right? And good for them for selling Murata for a profit and using those funds to buy Timo if it happens.
Yeah, which is what I wanted to mention is that they obviously loaned Murata out to loan plus buy at the end of the year or some shit. So it's coming out to like the same thing. So the money that they're getting from Murata, they're using it for Werner. So to me, this is great business for Chelsea.
Oh yeah.
And now there are rumors that what's his name, Kai Havertz, is looking like he's going to sign for Chelsea also, which is what we were saying before. He missed the 2 games with Leverkusen, and now he's heavily linked to Chelsea.
I would, if I'm Chelsea, I'm going for Kai, even if he's priced at 100 mil. The kid's proven so much in the past couple of seasons, and he shows how much potential he could retain. Yep. And I think Lampard, we've seen it through this season, could get the most out of youth players. It's clear to me that young guys want to go to him, and honestly, the team should trust in Lampard and take his word for which players he wants to get and which type of team he wants to build. So if I'm Lampard and Chelsea, I'm going for Kai. And if I'm Kai, receiving that paycheck, because it's going to come with a hefty paycheck, I'm going straight to London, especially that I have Timo practically there. And the only thing missing left after that would be a center back, honestly.
So to add to that, I wanted to just I know we're expressing a lot about Chelsea right now, but they have been very busy in the transfer market, and a lot of players have been linked to Chelsea. So I've been reading here and there. I know it's all rumors and speculations that they were going to make 2 more marquee signings after Werner. So in my personal opinion, I think they're going to sign, like you said, Kai Havertz, and I think they're going to go for Koulibaly.
Okay.
Koulibaly would be fucking huge for your team.
Koulibaly's not going to be cheap either. So,
but they are willing to splash the cash, because don't forget, they didn't spend any money last year, nor are they spending money on Timo Werner. So they're working with what they have. And don't forget, a couple of weeks ago, Napoli said that they were willing to do a rebuild, and they were going to sell Koulibaly and some other players. I can't remember the list. Yeah, Allen, Koulibaly, and
was assuming that his value is going to go down compared to what it was last year.
Oh, for sure. So if they can pick up Koulibaly, Havertz too, and a left back, which they were looking at Ben Chilwell. So after Ben Chilwell got linked to Chelsea, then there was other reports like Manchester City were inquiring. But I think they should go for Nicolas Tagliafico. It's a much cheaper option than Ben Chilwell, because I'm sorry, no team should pay 80 mil for a left back or a right back. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah.
Especially an unproven one like Chilwell. Like, yes, he's having a great season so far this year, but like, you can't base a price tag off of one season.
Nope.
Hence, Nicolas Pepe.
Huh.
You know?
Huh.
So just to kind of bounce off what George said about the center back for Chelsea, and we can kind of bring this up now. Thiago Silva is rumored to leave PSG. And I was thinking that Thiago Silva should go to Chelsea instead. I think he'd be a cheaper option. He's an experienced veteran, and I feel like he would play a huge part in the locker room for that young talent.
So what I have to say to that, I'm gonna stick to getting Koulibaly. Obviously, you're spending much more cash, but Thiago Silva is a lot older compared to
35, I think.
Yeah, compared to Koulibaly, and I don't think Thiago Silva is the right player to come to Chelsea right now. One, because of his age, like I just said, and two, he's making like 250 a week at PSG. Now, I'm not saying that Chelsea have money problems, but it's something to consider. You know, like, I'd rather be giving that 250 to Koulibaly.
They just gave 10 million to a 24-year-old. I don't think they have money problems right now.
No, I know, but I'm not gonna.
No, he's just saying for the investment, like you're not going to be paying 2 seasons 35-year-old who could get injured easily at that age, especially in the Premier League.
Yeah, okay.
Fucking 250 a week.
That's
Obviously,
fair.
he's going to drop his price per week, obviously, or else I don't think anyone's going to sign him. But
I don't think so.
He's turning 36 in September.
Yeah, no, thank
Fuck
you.
that.
And cool.
Where's he rumored to go?
Koulibaly's
Then?
turning.
Arsenal.
Oh yeah.
He's also
my.
rumored to go back to. He's also rumored to go back to Milan.
Ooh.
Okay.
And
If he goes back
Koulibaly's
to
turning
Milan, he's
29.
definitely not getting 250 a week, though. That's like they can't afford that.
No, there's no way. And Koulibaly's turning 29 in 11 days.
Okay.
Yep.
For me, if I'm
It's usually
Chelsea, I would continue with the youth and go for a guy like Upamecano, man. I would definitely put my money there. Because Koulibaly, yeah, even though he's in his prime now, it's going to cost them a lot for a player that's going to last you, what, 4 seasons? 5 seasons? 5 seasons?
Yep.
When you're battling for the title, though, those 4 seasons are going to come,
Yeah, I guess you're right. Look
4
at what
seasons
City
is pretty
did with
decent.
Walker.
Yeah.
Pretty decent amount of years. If I can have that player for 4, 100%.
And
I would splash.
Antonio, it's like you said, those years for a defender, those are the prime years right there. 29, 30, 31, 32. And I think even 33 if we're pushing it. So you could see the best out of Koulibaly if he leaves and goes somewhere big.
Yeah, well, look at John Terry. I think he played with Chelsea until he was 35. I'm not saying that he was getting all of the game time towards the end of his Chelsea career, but he was there.
Yeah. But he was playing his heart out too during the end. That's what I remember too. So.
There you go. All right. Moving on with Lallana, Adam Lallana extending his contract until the end of the season.
Too many L's.
Too many L's.
Too many L's. I mean, end of the season.
Very good bench player for Liverpool. He's proven his worth as a bench player many times. He actually came in clutch versus I think it was Arsenal, and he scored that tying goal to keep that the
winning streak.
What am I looking for? The winning streak going. You know what I mean? So I think he's a great player for them. He's been a great player for them, and Klopp loves him. Nothing but praise from him. I do think he might leave in the summer, but I guess we'll see what happens with that.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys want to add anything to that, but yeah.
Well said. There's nothing more to add to that, in my opinion.
No.
Nope.
By the way, sticking with North London, I know you guys are going to say who cares about Tottenham, especially that guy up there. On my screen, he's up there.
He's on my screen over here too.
Yeah, that's why he's up there. But yeah, we're going after Højbjerg and Fraser.
Honestly, like I was saying right before we started the podcast, I think Fraser is a very underrated pickup for you guys. And honestly, if you could get him for a decent price, a player that's already been in the Premier League a couple of seasons now and who has killed it for Bournemouth, man, I could see him fitting well in the Tottenham mid.
Yeah, I'm excited. If it does go through and we get these two young guns, especially Højbjerg, such a big body, and he's 24 years old, captain of Southampton, I think they'd be two good additions to the team. And it's cool that Mourinho's gone out of his way and called both of them separately and had ongoing discussions with them on a daily basis, basically.
I have nothing bad to say about Højbjerg. I think he's incredible. He's very underlooked. He's underrated. And I hope he gets, if he does go to Tottenham, it's great for them, obviously. But he's awesome. He doesn't get enough praise, this guy.
Because he's with Southampton, sadly. But that's all I want to say on that.
I don't know if George, you wanted to move on, or you wanted to go somewhere else.
No, honestly, I'm not really sure about this. I'm not really sure about this Højbjerg guy. We'll get to Balotelli after Premier League and after all these transfers. I'm not sure who this Højbjerg guy. I'm just gonna take your word for it that he's a workhorse and he's a fantastic midfielder. Is he more of a center defensive midfielder?
He's both. He plays both CM and CDM very well.
So box to box.
Box to box. Workhorse, man.
But
Workhorse.
here's the thing with Tottenham, man. Like, I look at their players and they're good. It's not like they're bad, but it's just I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that doesn't work for them.
They never got to play together.
Hey, again, this guy with the finally fit team over here. Fuck.
No,
how many times are we gonna hear that?
No, but
what are you saying?
You know what though? You can argue that case with any team. Barcelona's not the same team if Suarez is out. Barcelona's not the same team if Messi's out. I'm not saying that Barcelona are the same caliber as Tottenham, but these are two top teams in Europe.
Yeah.
No, but I like Tottenham's team. I like you. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense why these results come out of nowhere where they can't win a fucking game.
I think we need to give Tommy the benefit of the doubt and say that, bro, injuries do affect your team, man. At the end of the day, especially when they're your starting players.
No, I know, but to use it as an excuse every time, it gets old.
It's not every time though.
I have never used injuries as an excuse because it's a fact that every player on Tottenham in the starting 11 has been injured at least a month this season. The whole starting 11 now.
Listeners don't hear to our personal conversations, so I'm going to leave it at that. It's okay. Forget it.
We splashed cash on Lo Celso, on Ndombele, and oh my God, what's his name?
Weinberg. Weinberg, and there you go. That just leads us to the next topic, ladies and gents.
We splashed cash on them, and they barely had any playing time because they're all injured. Like that's on. But yeah, Weinberg.
Oh my God, Weinberg goes.
Christ.
I was close.
George, how tired are you right now?
Dude, I'm like, anyway.
He's fried. He says all kinds of fucking sparks up his nose from the welding all day. Pretty soon he's gonna start snorting like a dragon. Fuck.
Oh my
God. No, but it's true. I mean, I think we should take the injuries into account. It's a huge factor for City as well this year. That was my only excuse for them, and just not being able to hold it together despite all the injuries that City had. So I think injuries are, definitely a factor. I mean, after a while.
I'm not saying they're not, though. Don't take what I'm saying. Like, don't spin my words. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying from our personal conversations, it's come up too many times over the years. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. What I have to say is that I'm actually really excited for the opening match, Tottenham's opening match versus Man U, right, Tommy? That's their opening game. It's with a full healthy squad for both ends. Now that Man U have Pogba. No?
Not
back or no?
Not for Man U, but for Tottenham, Lo Celso picked up an injury.
Nope, it was false.
False? So we have confirmation from
So now they're a full healthy team, right?
Now I'm gonna say this right now. You can mark it down. Episode 27, a full healthy team.
Hold on. And what's gonna happen when they play Man U then?
What, with a full healthy team?
Yes, tell us what's gonna happen.
Every time
Tottenham team.
Every time Kane has played against them and started, we've won. The last time we played them, he did not play.
Okay.
Harry.
I didn't have Son either. So I'm saying.
Okay, no problem.
That's all I'm saying. Now I'm saying it right now. Write it down. You'll go back to it. You can roast me all you want. A full healthy team will be a lot better. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, say it.
No. I'm laughing at what he wrote. When he wrote it down.
I just saw it now. I'll put everything on the line. A full healthy team. We're gonna be bagging goals, like all kinds. That's me.
Put that.
I think that's what
on the line.
Give Mourinho a full healthy team. That's it.
We should have a full healthy team counter at the bottom right of the screen. We'll try to edit that in for.
It's been a lot
for our
for me,
Facebook video and YouTube video.
Mark damn words, boys. Mark.
Or we should have a counter on how many times Alex bashes Tommy over.
But I'm bashing Tommy more than Tottenham. That's the funny part, but it's fine.
Yeah,
it's all love. It's all love.
That's the thing. That's the thing, ladies and gents.
But but it's gonna be a good game. I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure.
When,
All right.
But that
when is
shows
Premier
how-
League starting again?
Wait,
No?
Anthony wants to say something. Go for it, Ant.
June 20th, and it shows that how, because it's usually some teams with injuries they still manage to handle it with a strong bench, right? But it shows that the Spurs, what they're lacking, right? They need that.
Even our bench was
really
injured.
solid depth. You know what I mean? So and they don't have a fucking
Yeah.
striker to replace Kane, bro. And it's been an issue for I don't know how many fucking years.
Oh, I agree.
Fucking Llorente, that fucking tall tree.
Just to
The fuck
correct
is he gonna do,
Anthony,
bro?
it's June 17th that the Premier League is back.
Yeah, get Italy out of your mind.
Serie A.
Yeah,
Serie A
get
is
Italy
the
out of your
20th,
mind.
exactly.
Get out of here.
Well, actually, it's our next topic of discussion, Serie A. So, shh. Anthony, take it away.
I can't deal with this kid. Not much to discuss. We mentioned last week, I believe, that they established the Coppa Italia fixtures, the 12th and 13th this week. It's gonna be pretty interesting games. All four teams are pretty solid, more or less. The finals will be taking place on the 17th, right before Serie A starts on June 20th. But what I read up upon these last few days was a backup plan that the FIGC, the Italian Football Federation, established in case there was a second outbreak of the COVID-19. Basically, to either establish the winners of Serie A, or if that doesn't work, to simply establish the standings. In other words, who's making Europa champions and who's being relegated or not. So to give you the context, like I mentioned before, June 20th season is starting, and they are looking to finish August 2nd. So they have to play 124 games between mid-June until beginning of August.
Oh my
So that's
God.
Absolutely not.
That's a shit load of games.
It's great for us, but it's tough for them.
Oh, we're getting spoiled.
It's really tough
I
for
love
them.
it.
But that's why they're allowing the 5 substitutes, right?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that every
I-
league that's doing that, or just Serie A that mentioned that?
I thought it was just the Prem.
I think it's every league, if I'm not mistaken.
Have Bundesliga inquired this new rule?
I don't think so.
I didn't
Haven't
see.
seen
I
I
think
didn't
it's just a
see it.
Prem.
No.
From when I tagged you guys last time, I think it was just the Prem. Someone looked it up. But anyways, this plan that they put into place was agreed to as of yesterday, June 8th. And if another spike of COVID occurs, basically they established a playoff format to finalize the standings and to quote the score of what would happen if they consider it impossible to finish by August 20th. They will calculate the average number of points each team has accrued from home and away matches this season and multiply those averages by the number of home and away games that each team has left. And then the total will be added to the number of points each team has already earned. If they use this format, they won't decide the champion. They will just establish who's making Europe and who's getting relegated or not. That's basically it.
All right, so just going back to the subs, it was FIFA that announced that they were going to put the rule change in place for every team, basically in the world, I guess, until the end of 2020. So this includes every team in the top European leagues. I just read this on ESPN.
And just to confirm what Antonio was saying, I just checked on Bayern's last game, and they used all 5 substitutes. And so did Leverkusen. So it's for all.
There
of
you
us.
go.
So that's
There you go.
so that's you said until the end of 2020. So that could end up leading on to the next season that's gonna come up after the summer, right? That's if they
Yeah.
start in the summer.
That's if it starts after, exactly.
So
Yeah.
we don't know if it's gonna be if the 2020 or 2021 season
Right.
will end up starting normally how they start, like in end of the summer, beginning of the fall kind of thing.
I think it's safe to say that COVID's going to last a while, and I think it is going to go into next season. So I think that's why they kind of put that rule in place at the end of 2020, because they do feel like it's going to last the entire rest of the year.
Yep.
Yeah, 100% it is.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But sorry to get sidetracked from that. But what do you guys think about that format in case another outbreak occurs? Knock on wood.
I think it's fair. I mean, it sucks for Lazio, who's making such an incredible push for the title. And, if maybe they get kind of, I'm not going to use the word robbed, but I mean, if they kind of, they don't reward a champion, it's going to suck for them a bit. But if they get a nice Champions League spot, I mean, they can come back strong next year if they keep the same team. If they don't sell any big players. We'll likely see the same Lazio team next year competing for the title again. If something happens with the title crown this year.
Yeah, basically you're slashing their tires if that happens.
Yeah.
If you don't give them a chance to fight for the title, since they were from here and then all the way top spot now, especially with Chiro murking the league, it'd be slashing their tires and being like, okay, you did good, but no reward. A little tap on the back, you did good, but you didn't win, basically. Yeah. But like Alex said, a Champions League spot for Ciro Immobile would be amazing. Finally, all eyes will be on him. And yeah, I'm happy if that happens. Worst case scenario, very deserving.
I agree. Yeah, well said. I think it's fair. It's just obviously it's tough. I mean, we were talking about it before too with Liverpool. If they didn't win the Prem this year with this pandemic that happened, fortunately for them, they're able to do it now. But it would have been would have sucked for them and for the Liverpool fans to not being able to finally put an end to that streak of not being able to win the league in a while. So I agree. It would have been tough for Lazio since they're the only team now that's been consistent the last few months before COVID happened, and Inter slowly dropped off a bit with a few ties and losses. So it would have been definitely tough for them.
Not to make fun here, but you guys, can't you not believe that COVID happens the year Liverpool finally are about to win the league after what was it, 50-something years?
Yeah.
Oh my God, man, this team is
Not
so
50
unlucky.
Something. It's been oh no, yeah, it's been a little while. Holy shit!
So
it was 84. I think it was. I think we even mentioned this last time.
So
it was 84 or 86.
The EPL was founded in 1992. They obviously had an English first division league, right, but it became the EPL in 1992. And the ongoing joke, or whatever you want to call it, is that they've never won the Premier League.
Yeah,
but
the last title was 89-90.
Yeah, 30 years, 35 days, 4 hours, and 50 minutes.
I don't know. The curse is real, guys, with Liverpool. That's all I'm gonna say.
Someone must have put a voodoo spell or something, bro. I don't know.
Who knows at this point?
Yeah,
but
and they won the Champions League.
At least they won
it in 05-06.
Yeah,
and obviously 2019.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they were in the finals in 08, I think, against Milan again, and in 2018 against Madrid. So, man, they've been doing really well in Europe the past 2 decades.
Don't remind me, but yeah.
6 titles. 6 titles, bro.
That's
so no joke. But another thing I wanted to bring up, which I'm sure you were going to bring up too in Serie A, is that Mario Balotelli.
That side says it all.
There's nothing, you can't defend him anymore, bro. It's after not even a year at Brescia, the club decided to terminate Balo's contract due to his behavior, failing to appear at team training, not appearing in the team's Zoom calls, which ultimately led to an argument with him and the president, Massimo Cellino. Even the Brescia squad didn't like how he was acting and decided to train without him, as per the manager, Diego Lopez. So basically, all in all, I believe they're in last place. Even at that, they still weren't down to hold on to him. that basically sums up 1,000 words by that act. How they're struggling. Obviously, they're a small club, and they still don't want to keep you because no one's bigger than the team. Who the fuck are you to miss practice? Like, bro, like this was your chance to like at least have a decent ending to your career. You fucking idiot. No?
Yeah.
No, I
You were
agree.
immature.
Yeah, what ending to his career? He still has at least fucking 8 years left, man. How old is he? 28.
He's MLS bound, boys.
The beginning of a turnaround to have a good ending of the year, ending of his career.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
start off with there. Same thing with Piatek. I'm sure he's there at Hertha for now, just to regain his motivation again, and probably going to go to another team again. So I'm assuming that's what his idea was for Brescia. Just build up his name there, kill it there, go to another medium team, and then maybe even a big one at the end. But his attitude has been an issue.
What could have been with this guy's career if he actually was, head on straight with soccer and everything? It's unbelievable, man. Over the years, what this guy has done.
I'm never gonna forget it when we had the soccer pool and he went back to Liverpool and I right away got him, and the most he did that season was score 1 goal and buy a pig. Thanks for padding my stats. And I was talking to him like, Ballo, why?
We should have given you a plus 15 points on that pig, though.
Scores a goal, changes his hair 18 times, and buys a pig.
Bro, I fucking forgot about how he bought Babe the pig.
He said, you know what I need? A dog. Cat, get out of here. Give me a pig.
Give me some bacon.
Oh, hey.
Pork
Respect.
I mean,
Canadian bacon strips.
That just sums up Mario Balotelli's career. Just
in a nutshell.
Off the wall behavior, very like out there, you know what I mean? And unstable. And I mean, it's a shame because with a player of that talent throwing away his career, well, not. Yeah, throwing away his career. I guess you can say that if that's nice. If I can say it in the nicest way possible, that would be that. But he is who he is,
Yep.
And I'll never forget. Yeah, and I'll never forget the moment where he scored that goal with Italy, and he
against Neuer.
Did this and just.
Those 2 goals were against Manuel Neuer. It's not a joke.
In the semifinals of
and
the Euro Cup.
Yeah, It's no joke, man. That guy could have been something incredibly special, and it sucks to see his fucking career went down the drain.
You started clapping after that fucking bullet he unleashed at the top shelf. You started clapping.
Yeah, so you see moments of brilliance from Ballo like that, and then you see moments of ignorance when he tried to do that stupid like back heel kick against when he was with Man City. And I think they played an MLS All-Star team. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, not an All-Star team. Was it the All-Stars?
All-Stars. It was Man City versus the All-Stars.
It was either All-Stars or LA Galaxy. I'm not entirely sure. Someone should look that up.
And then he got subbed off right away.
Right away from Roberto Mancini. Classic.
Like the 28th minute, yeah.
Okay, but either way, he did provide the assist on Aguero's goal. So
yeah,
if you want to give him that, we'll give him that.
Don't hate on him for his tenure at City was solid, bro, and Inter. And after that, it was just
downhill.
Yeah.
Yep.
True.
Yep.
Is there anything else that you guys wanted to add before we? Oh yeah, Alex.
I just want to throw a couple of honorable mentions that we didn't mention before we end the episode today. Sure. So quickly, N'Golo Kante returns to training. So I wanted to bring that up. It's great for Chelsea, especially with everything going on with them. Their season is looking very nice, and hopefully they can finish in a nice spot before next season starts and they get Timo time happening for them. Ronaldo becomes first billionaire footballer. I felt like that was important to bring up. What he's done over the years in terms of endorsements and everything like that, his play on the field, it's a no-brainer how he became the first billionaire, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys want to throw. Yeah.
And not to mention, since we're on Ronaldo, he became even fitter or in better shape after COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting. This
He's a
guy's just
workhorse, man. The
the
guy's an
guy's just a
animal.
machine. He's just
Yeah.
an animal.
Yeah.
Animal. It
Honestly,
doesn't
I'm
make sense.
I'm pretty surprised David Beckham didn't become the first billionaire footballer with the multiple businesses that he has and the money he was making. But
Passion.
yeah, if anybody was going to become a billionaire footballer, it was either Ronaldo or Messi at this point, right? So
Right. Bale's agent, Gareth Bale, likely to finish career at Madrid. As we discussed
Bro.
before we started recording.
didn't
Go for
I
it.
tell you guys that earlier this season? Even
You
on
did.
the podcast, I'm
You
pretty
did.
sure I mentioned it.
You
didn't want to
did.
believe it. I didn't want to believe it.
No one's gonna match that contract. And why would you ever want to leave that contract? Why?
My point with Gareth Bale was more about the soccer point of it, whereas that I always, like, I was hoping that his mind was soccer first, money second. You know what I mean? But it's not. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but he won the top trophy you could win as a club, which is the Champions League. He won a FIFA Club World Cup.
He's
He
won
won
La Liga.
La Liga title. What more could you want? Maybe
I
UCL?
just felt like we could have seen so much more from him in those important years that we didn't. You know what I mean? Or no? Or you
Scored
guys
a
think?
fucking bicycle kick in the finals, bro. He has a stellar career under his
Well, you
belt.
know my take.
And like I said, no one's gonna match that fucking salary that he has. Nobody. It's a golden salary.
It's too much. It's too high. Yeah, I know. You're right. You're right. I just, for me, the way I see it is his resume doesn't really, like, it's hard to put it into words. I don't know. It's like the resume doesn't tell me everything that, like, there's a lot of things that we missed from Gareth Bale that we didn't see. But because he was in those critical games and he obviously outperformed, you know, that's why his resume is so stellar, like you said.
I'm just happy that, yeah.
Go for it. Go for it.
I'm just happy that I know it sucks that he says he wants to end his career in Madrid, which pisses me off because he's never going to get off the bench. But
He didn't say that. His manager did.
His agent.
that's why I said
His
that's
agent.
what we're talking about. His agent now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That his agent came out and said he's going to end his career in Madrid. As much as it bothers me and pisses me off, I'm just happy, so happy he didn't take the China deal and go play in China. I'd rather him rot on the bench in Madrid than lose everything in China.
At least. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But don't forget, it was Madrid that pulled out of that deal. It wasn't Bale. Bale was ready to go. It was Madrid who pulled out at the last second.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't know or hear from him ever again. Like,
Yeah. Well, plus the Chinese league established that salary cap thing as well, so
yeah,
that probably impacted that as well.
And the last
Carrasco wants to come back. He's like, screw it. No one knows me in China. No one's watching me. I want to come back. And
Well,
look,
he did come back for Atletico Madrid, don't forget, in January.
Yeah. That's what I said. You see him. He went to China. He's like, shit. Everyone forgot about me. Everyone remembered what he was the last World Cup. And then he went back to China. He's like, screw it, I don't like it anymore. So he went to Big Tam, and now he's back.
He's a good player. He's not a great player, in my opinion. But anyways, we'll leave it at that. We're talking about Carrasco, by the way.
Yeah. No.
So last thing on the honorable mentions list that I have here is Coutinho wants Premier League return, says agent. This isn't big news. I think we've brought this up before. The big question is obviously where.
I think he was pretty linked to Tottenham, man. Honestly, Tottenham.
That'd be a good move because that midfield can use someone like him. They lost that
attacking midfielder.
Yeah, exactly. They lost their attacking midfielder or their creative midfielder in Ericsson, and they can use that creativity from Coutinho.
Oh, hell yeah.
The only thing I have to say about continue again, bro. I said it. Jesus Christ. What is wrong with me, man?
It's been a long day. It's okay. You're forgiven. Don't worry. Keep going.
Man.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. I don't understand. It's the second week in a
Fucking
row.
talk
I did
much?
that.
English much?
So
English much?
could you
Wait, George.
on Coutinho?
There you go.
Yeah. Anyways, the only thing that concerns me about him is that he got kicked out of Barcelona basically, even though Setien is welcoming him with open arms. and he didn't do well in Bayern. So my only concern with that is that, like, if I'm Jose Mourinho in Tottenham, do I really want to invest in a player that got rejected by 2 top clubs? Not really. That's the only thing I have to say about that.
But the difference is he's the special one.
And the difference is 3. That's it.
I was gonna comment more about Coutinho than Jose, but the reason what I was gonna say was that I would take him back because he knows the Premier League so well, and he would have that edge. That's all I'm gonna say in terms of his time at Barca or Bayern, where he was settling in.
Yeah.
Listen, worst case scenario, what they can do is if Jose Mourinho really wants him, just go for a loan move.
Okay.
Loan him out for 1 year, and you have an option now for Jose Mourinho. You know, and it's a player that he can work with. and it's maybe Jose Mourinho can light a fire under his ass, you know?
Yeah.
So
If anybody could do it, it's him. Yeah.
I think so.
And give Dele Alli some competition too, which he desperately needs.
There you
So
go,
that
man.
Fire under his ass as well. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There you go. So maybe going to Tottenham on a loan deal might be his best option. I know it's kind of shitty getting tossed around here and there, but maybe it could salvage his career, because right now it's not looking good for him compared to the player that he was when he was at Liverpool.
It's shitty getting bounced around, but I put that on him more than anybody else in terms of his performances, in my opinion. I think I've seen a little too much. Every time I've watched him in the last year or two where he had left Liverpool, he hasn't been great on the pitch whenever he was given the opportunities. So I feel like maybe it was a bit on him, in my opinion. But anyways.
Yeah.
But Antonio remembers when he first got to Barca, he was a massive stud. He was scoring a goal every game and
Because
assist.
he wasn't wearing the number 7 and he was wearing the number 14. As soon as he switched to number 7, bro, cursed number.
There you go.
Interesting.
Yep.
Cursed.
You could say what you will with David Villa as one of my top players of all time, but I still say that number is cursed because he broke his leg in a freak accident. To me, that number is cursed, bro. Totally cursed.
There are things to back it up. There's other players that have worn the number 7 before and haven't performed very well. So I'm with you on that one. I'm with you.
Fucking who the hell's Gu Johnson? Who remembers that guy? Then you had before Gu Johnson, you had Larson. He killed it, but then he left after 1 season. It's like, okay. Anyways, yeah.
All right, guys. So I don't know if y'all have anything else to say. I think we pretty much went over everything that happened in the past week. With that being said, guys, thank you very much for tuning in as always. It's always a pleasure to give you guys information and knowledge about what we love to speak about. So yeah, tune in every week and we'll be back next week. Thanks a lot,
Just
guys.
Just before we wrap up, I want to tell our listeners and viewers something. Just to tell them what's up. First of all, I want to say thank you for bearing with us with our shitty sound quality. And we are working to getting back together in one room with our equipment. We're just waiting on the laws here in Montreal to see what's up. Apparently by June, June 20th? June 22nd, we're allowed having people in the same household. We don't know how much yet or whatever, but anyways, we're hoping by episode 30 we could all be back in the same room and hopefully have some cameras set up for everybody so that we could continue posting on Facebook and YouTube. So
yes,
just want to say a thank you for listening and thank you for being with us.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Ciao.
Thanks a lot, guys. Ciao.
Peace.